Hi everyone and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be on the binomial expansion. So we're going to cover the binomial expansion of 1 plus x to the power n, where n is not a positive integer. So n can either be negative or a fraction. So the binomial expansion of 1 plus x to the n is 1 plus nx over 1 factorial plus n multiplied by n minus 1 x squared. As you can see here, this only holds when the modulus of x is less than 1, so it only holds for really small x. Now if we look at the actual expansion, we can see that it carries on, so there are an infinite number of terms. If we look at the regular binomial expansion, there are only a finite number of terms. Now, when we're asked in an exam question to do the binomial expansion of 1 plus x to the n, where n is not a positive integer, then we don't have to write lots of terms out. They'll tell you what term to go up to, as you'll see in some of the examples that we cover today. Alright, so let's just get straight into the first example. So the first thing we're going to do is do the binomial expansion of 1 plus x to the power of minus a half. So here our n is minus a half. Now we only want the first three terms, so that means we only want this one, this one, and this one. So we're only going to go up to the x squared term. Alright, so the way we write it is 1 plus x to the power minus a half. And we're going to use this symbol, which means approximately. And we're doing that because we're only writing the first three terms of 1 plus x to the power minus a half, so it's not completely accurate. Alright, so using the binomial expansion above, we're going to get 1 plus n is minus a half multiplied by x divided by 1 factorial plus, so here we have minus a half again. And then we have n minus 1, so it's going to be minus a half minus 1, x squared divided by 2 factorial. So after some simplifying, we get 1 minus x over 2 plus minus a half multiplied by, so this here is minus 3 over 2. So here we're going to get 3 over 4 x squared divided by 2 factorial, which is going to give 1 minus x over 2 plus 3x squared over 8. And that's the binomial expansion of 1 plus x to the power of minus a half for the first three terms. If it asked for 4 terms, we'd just do it for one more term, and etc. Alright, we're going to move on to a second slightly harder example. So this time it wants us to do the binomial expansion of 1 plus 6x to the power a third, and we want the first three terms. So we can see here that this isn't in the form 1 plus x to the n, because we have a 6 in front of the x. So I'm just going to show you how we can do the expansion this time. So 1 plus 6x to the power a third is approximately 1 plus n is a third, but this time our x is not just x, it's 6x. So we have to substitute in 6x over 1 factorial plus n multiplied by n minus 1, which is minus 2/3, multiplied by x squared. But again, we don't just have x, we have 6x, so we have to square the whole thing. And then we divide that by 2 factorial. And again, we use the approximation because we're only writing the first three terms. Alright, so we get 1 plus 2x plus a third times minus 2 over 3 is minus 2 over 9 6x squared is 36x squared, divided by 2 factorial, which then, after fully simplifying, we get 1 plus 2x minus 4x squared. Let's move on to an even more difficult example. Alright, so this time we're going to find the binomial expansion of 4 plus x all to the power of minus a half. And again, we just want the first 3 terms. So notice here we actually don't have this in the form 1 plus x again, so we're just going to have to do some manipulation. So we're going to manipulate this 4 to turn it into a 1. Alright, so we've just taken out a multiple of 4. I can rewrite this like this. Which then gives us a half multiplied by 1 plus x over 4 to the minus a half. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the binomial expansion of 1 plus x over 4 to the power of minus a half, and at the end we're going to multiply everything by a half. So again, we're going to get 1 plus n, which is minus a half, multiplied by x, but this time our x is x over 4, divided by 1 factorial, plus minus a half, multiplied by minus a half minus 1, which is minus 3 over 2, multiplied by x over 4, all squared, over 2 factorial. So now we're just going to simplify everything, so we're going to get 1 minus x over 8, and then these two multiplied together to make 3 over 4, so we can get 3 over 4 times by x squared over 16 over 2 factorial, which is 1 minus x over 8 plus 3x squared over 128. So now for the binomial expansion of a half 1 plus x over 4 to the minus a half, we just multiply everything by a half. So we're going to get a half minus x over 16 plus 3x squared over 256. So those are 3 examples of how we can use this version of the binomial expansion. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!